What's happening, everyone? My name's Anthony Santana. Welcome back to The Letter, and it does feel good to return to this, to recording this video, actually, to the series, even though it's only once a week that I upload. I had an extended vacation, not vacation actually, because it was unexpected, but either way, let's just continue. Feels good to be back. And last I remember, I failed a, quick time, I think it was? Yeah. Please. Please don't let her hear me. Right. Spacebar right there. There we go. Shit. There. Fuck. Oh, well, that's game over again. Alright, well, time to load. What? No, that's save game. I want load game. Where's load? There it is. Load. Load that one, yes. Really? I failed that one? Oh, come on. It's getting faster! What the hell? Oh, that was it. Good. I don't know why it was getting faster. I guess she was panicking. Alright. The sounds, minutes, stretch out before me agonizingly. Is she gone? Slowly I open my eyes to take a peek. Oh god. I don't dare move or make a noise. Ugh. Girl, you gotta get that leg checked. In the face of such terror, I can only beg. Let out silent pleas to whoever is out there. Please, please don't let her notice. I want to live. What now? Wait, what? Hold on. We got new stuff here. Let's check the relationship. It says... Wait. We have to work on everybody's relationship, not just Isabella's? Is that why these were all grayed out? Okay, so Hannah is obviously in loves with Luke. How am I going with Isabella? Seems like I'm really good with Marianne. Pretty much Hannah and Isabella don't like each other then. Huh. Okay. Journal. I am... Do I get... Oh, profiles. There we go. Hannah. Age 30. Okay. Occupation Harris, former finance manager. Okay. Well, if you want to read up on her journal entry, well, you can pause there. Okay. This is strange, though. It is far too easy to get them to pay attention, and raptured. They hang on to my every word and follow my every move. All of it would have been stifling if I had I not grown used to such stares. Most are respectful, some are hostile, if we were honest. And a few are downright inappropriate. After all, I am...
Hanna Wright!
Yep, so we're playing as her now. There's a moment of agitation as a familiar, but less than welcome face. Approaches me with a suggestive smirk on his face. Of course I have to keep a benevolent smile and greet him as I greet any good friend. After all, this man can turn heads, being famous in his own right.
Officer Lee! What a pleasant surprise. I didn't think you'd have the time to attend tonight's party.
He is more Luke's friend than mine, really, and I am quite sure I only invited his wife. Wow. Much like I am only friends with the chief inspector because of Luke, Luke is only friends with Rochelle because of me. Oh. Unlike how I treated Lee, however, Luke never hid his animosity for the Lee matriarch. It was an odd sort of friendship, where we would have awkward double dates. Really? I don't even recall his first name. It started with an N, I think. I might be wrong. Aside from being chief inspector of Luxburn Police, his wife, Rochelle Lee whoa, that's a name. Rochelle Lene Vance owns a General Electronics company. Fridges and freezers mostly.
Oh, I always have time for my favorite socialite couple. Might I say, you look positively ravishing tonight.
Yes, quite exquisite, may I say.
I see the husband isn't with you.
Oi, oi, oi. The way he eyes me up is enough to make my skin crawl. Yeah, just the tone of how he said it. I just wish Luke is here to fend off the more unseemly of our peers. You know the ones. Yeah, the ones that, if they were left alone with you in a room, you would not see the light of day. Men who are just a bit too friendly. Really? Mowing the lawn? Men who are just a bit too friendly, staring too long at my assets, and getting close just because my husband is not here. Yep. And to think they have a gal, the gal to do this at my own party. No, not the gal, the gall. In my own house, if I might add. But like any high society woman worth her salt, I know how to handle it with grace and dignity.
I suppose you are looking pleasant as well. Luke's busy with work, unfortunately. Rochelle isn't here?
A shame. I do hope he isn't causing you much trouble. That husband of yours can be a bit daft sometimes, acting like he's still some young bachelor.
I think I'm starting to figure him out. Clearly he seems to love Hanna. Maybe more than his own wife. Who knows, maybe him and his wife married by force. But I can see he has a thing for Hanna.
The wife sends her regards and her apologies, but something came up with a doctor and she needed to attend to it. You know her, being pregnant and all.
Okay. Didn't know that part. We make small talk. Rather, I'm forced to do so, as he would not leave my side after finding his place there. Much to my chagrin. What? I've been extricated from the few who flock in hopes of flattering, for I can tolerate them far better than Lee. He is a nice enough person, and I adore his wife, who is obviously the brains behind the two. But there is something unsettling about him. I do not trust him as much as I want to. He to me tales of the Luxburn Police Department, a different affair to the usual gossip I am privy to. And though I loathe to admit it, it is interesting nonetheless. I expect the topic of business to die out quickly, which would be understandable enough due to the confidential nature of his work. But oh boy, was I wrong.
So, wearing civvies, I steal and drive off with one of the police mobiles, right? In the mirror, I see the mutant chasing on foot and screaming about theft.
Who's gonna arrest him? Himself?
The look on his face was priceless when I parked it in the garage.
Oh my. You made him chase you all the way home for a prank. What did Rochelle have to say about that?
Rochelle has a strange love and hate affair with Lee. He is a married man who did not grow up past his early 20s, judging by the way he acts. Surprisingly enough, they've been married for a good 20 years. Really? A lifetime, if you compare it to my marriage of 7 years with Luke. I, on the other hand, well, Luke is no Lee. I should be happy about that, I suppose. Although my darling did have his moments.
Hey, the wife pulled my ear and gave me a good talking to, though. Besides, we live in a flat a block away, so it wasn't much of a grand chase.
Weren't you living in a house near the countryside?
Moved for work, you know. Or you probably don't.
No, I don't. But a flat in downtown. I suppose if that's what you like.
Oh, it's horrid. Hate that tiny place, no matter how convenient it can be for work. 55 square yards are not enough when you need to get away from the wife.
That's understandable, actually.
I wouldn't mind a place away from the city. Even started looking at the ads. I spied an interesting lot, actually. Heard it was finally put up for sale. Or that something mansion, you know the one with all the ghost stories.
Oh. He's eyeing the mansion. Now, okay, does this scene take place before the mansion? Or after? It's gotta be before. Wait, did I skip something? I don't even remember already. Back? Can I go back? Yeah, I can. I know what it. Okay, I didn't. Okay, back. There we go. I know what he is talking about. There are really only a few urban legends around here. It's
The Ermagerd mansion?
Ermagerd. Have I been saying Ermengarde?
That's the one. Worthy of a king it is. I'd buy it myself, but Rochelle would only gripe if I brought it up to her. Not to mention all the expenses a place like that will be a real fixer-upper. You also have to find someone willing to work there with how superstitious people can be.
That's true.
If it becomes a problem, just hire someone to do an exorcism.
Actually, I do know of someone who could be up to the task. You remember the Ludgates party at their Christchurch summer residence?
Of course. It was an excellent soiree. Everything was so classy, too. Such good taste.
Oh, that place was a pigsty until they hired out this interior designer and they turned it into a bloody palace.
Yeah, so this is definitely taking place before the visit to Ermagerd Mansion. Okay, yeah. He's probably gonna refer, fuck, what was her name? Marianne.
She worked for the Exodus for their apartment in Soho too, and they recommended her when we were looking up pieces for our beach house in Porto Colom. I think I have a business card right. No, I must have left it in my other jacket. Anyway, she's called, what's her name? McCullough, Marianne, I believe, yes.
Yeah, okay, so this definitely takes place before.
But truly, if anyone were to get that place in McCullough, well, they'd be the envy and the talk of the town.
Huh. So is that Hannah's objective? To be the talk of the town?
Well, if you put it that way, I might just snatch it up for myself.
Well, good job, Hannah. You succeeded in both.
This place was starting to feel a bit small lately anyway.
Sure, a 3-story penthouse might not fit the definition of small for some people. I mean, that's a gigantic studio right there. Okay, maybe a lot of people. But it isn't big enough to have grand parties in. As it is, I only invited about 30 people to this one, and it already feels cramped in here. It certainly would be nice if I didn't have to ride an elevator up and down several floors before I can get anywhere as well. All Luke's words, not mine. Besides, I've been looking for a good anniversary gift. Ah. Luke might like this one. Where is he anyway? Okay, October 21st. Where's... damn it, I forgot when the game started. Let me see. It should be in the journal, though. Timeline, yeah. October 17th... 21st? Is that when it started? Oh yeah, that is when it started. Okay. Alright, so... Cool. Now I got the story. Luke is dressed to the nines, as he usually is. And he looks ready for whatever the day will throw at him. His butler and valet wait. His exotic butters. His butler and valet wait at his side, just in case he isn't as ready as he looks. Oh sure, that is normal. What is confusing me is the fact that he is on his way out of the penthouse, considering we won't have anywhere to go until much later. Wait, what?
Where are you going?
I am to attend the Triad Autumn Tasting. I do believe I informed you of this 2 weeks ago.
Oh, okay, so she just didn't know.
Yes. And might I remind you that I had stricken that off your schedule? Because 1, the doctor told you to stop consuming so much alcohol. And 2, I informed you a few days ago about the open house we are going to attend in its place. I've even found this marvelous interior designer, Mary Ann McCullough.
It's a 3.5-hour drive to Cardiff. I don't have time for this.
Oh jeez.
This is like that little party you threw all over again. You don't inform me of it, and you expect me to stay and be a gracious host when I have business elsewhere.
Damn.
You know how I operate, Hanna. Unless this was penciled in, I am sticking to my schedule.
If I may intrude, the madam is correct. Your physician did insist you moderate your drinking, unless you wish to incur acute pancreatitis.
That voice is not fitting of his image. But carry on.
And you did have this open house penciled in last Wednesday morning.
He has kind of a German accent. I noticed with that Wednesday being pronounced with a V instead of a W. Wednesday.
Bullocks, I don't remember doing so.
Well, you did. While very hungover, in fact.
He did. moaned about me being too loud, but gave in after some pushing. Perhaps that was a bit too cruel and manipulative of me, but
Whose side are you on?
he's on the side of truth.
Come on, Luke. You promised we'd do whatever I want this weekend.
Gordon Bennett, fine. I am giving this house tour of yours a chance. But if it proves to be a waste of time, I am going to Cardiff, and you are going to take a cab home.
Ouch! And that's like rich people disrespect right there.
Are we clear?
It's just a bit of husband and wife tit for tat, isn't it? All couples have their arguments. Once the honeymoon phase is over, as they all seem to call it, reality sets in that you and your partner might not always see eye to eye. Perhaps it has been the years. 7 of them is nothing to scoff at.
I just cannot bloody believe I agreed to this. I was really looking forward to the triad tasting.
Well, you can go try a tasting afterwards. The beers and alcohols aren't going to go anywhere, except in other people's bellies. Though sometimes I think it's something a bit more than just simple disagreements, and I have to stop myself from wondering where we went wrong.
There's always the Triad Christmas tasting in Manchester next month, and that'll only be an hour and a half drive.
That's even better. Have I been neglectful? Have I offended? Have I acted shamefully?
Yes, but Cardiff.
Certainly, any problem can be discussed. As long as he doesn't turn me away.
Well, there goes my good mood. Are you happy now, Hanna?
Really? I have to do this? I'll remain silent. I am happy. Did that work? That fucking didn't. Well, I just screwed up her relationship with Luke. And I'm sure he will be too, once he gets over this little upset. There's no point in aggravating him anymore, so I keep myself from commenting on the issue any further. A sweet smile and a bowed head. No need to provoke. That is how I cope.
So, when do we leave? Where are we even going?
We're scheduled to leave after lunch for the Ermengarde mansion?
Ah, so I did have the pronunciation correct. Ermengarde. It's not Ermagerd.
Das ist ja interessant. It's just Deutsch name. Is that infamous mansion, yeah?
So is he German? He has to be German. I've heard Germans use ja and das ist ja interessant. Yeah, that is interesting. Yeah. He is German, yes.
I have seen it from afar. It's a huge property. Very beautiful if it wasn't left abandoned. Certainly a house befitting lords and ladies of the land.
A house good enough for nobles, huh? It is well known then?
Well known for being spooks.
I guess that doesn't make it a total waste of time.
There you go, good mood returned.
Our old sous chef mentioned going there for Halloween last year. We've not seen him since.
Oh god. Yeah, that's not good.
Not that I mind. He made terrible pumpkin soup.
Ah, okay. I smile even as they turn their backs at me, to me. The right to the mansion is quiet, with Luke having stared out the window the entire way, not paying attention to anything around him. Meanwhile, I am conflicted. I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans oh, for fuck's sake, are we gonna hear the fucking honking every time we're in this scene? I don't know if I should apologize for changing his plans like that. But by the time we arrived at the mansion and I see his eyes light up in genuine interest, apologizing is the last thing on my mind. The whole affair with the Ermengarde mansion is certainly an interesting experience. The place had been renovated and restored by the owners to what they claim to be acceptable standards. The mansion itself looks like something befitting a fairy tale or a period piece. It is tastefully decorated and with a little bit of love and attention. I'm sure it can be a place Luke and I can call home. And the number of other prospective buyers that have come from the powerful and wealthy of Luxburn certainly did not disappoint, marking this estate as prime property. The Lees are amongst the group who went with the Rose Woman, and I saw a few other notable faces, though I did not really feel like mingling. Okay, now I'm putting this into the timeline perspective. We are now during the tour, of course, by the background, otherwise they would have broken in themselves, but I doubt that. So they're during the tour. Unfortunately for every one of them, the Wrights are interested in buying. Oh crap, did I skip something? I hope I didn't. Not otter, not backlog. Right, okay. Okay, good, I didn't skip anything on accident. Also, that is, we have never seen an image of Isabella until now, have we? What's been bugging my mind, however, is that Isabel. What is her problem? That explains, okay, I just put two and two together. That explains why they're starting out all so low with friendships. Why Hannah's starting so low with everyone else. Because they don't know each other, and I guess that'll be like their initial impression of them. Okay, still don't quite understand what is happening. One moment she is scrambling to give us the paperwork to finalize the sale. Then she is panicking over some sort of prank letter or another.
Dear me, is Isabella alright?
It is apparent, with the way she shakes and by the pallor of her skin. Something has really shaken her up.
Isabella, do you need me to call that ambulance?
I am worried, but it will be best if she is attended to by someone more familiar to her, like her partner. But even then, the girl refuses Rose's offered drink and looks just about ready to make a run for it.
No, I'm just feeling a bit out of it. Excuse me, I'll be back. I just need to catch my breath.
And she does so, just as I predicted, and her partner follows like a concerned mother. There is an awkward air among us as we are left in the wake of whatever that was. You know, hold on, I didn't see one thing in the relationship. Her relation with Marianne. That's on par with Rebecca and Zachary's initial impression. Okay. The others murmur and gossip with each other, speaking of the poor daft girl, and telling the tale to whoever was not audience to the act in the first place. It doesn't take too long for the woman, Rose, to return and pull us aside into the study for what I rightfully assume is damage control. Rose invites Marianne in too, hoping to apologize to her as well. But the woman refuses, saying she is not one of her clients anyway. That leaves myself, Rose, and Luke, the last all too eager to make himself comfortable in a study he's no doubt already claimed as his own.
I can't apologize enough about what just happened. Please forgive Isabella. She's been under a lot of pressure lately. She's young and all those rumors about this being haunted just got to her head. And it must be this terrible heat too. Not a drop of rain for days now.
Are you sure it is wise to just let her go like that? Where is the poor dear? She might get hurt.
She's more likely to hurt somebody else, given what just happened.
Well, thanks for your 2 cents, or your 2 million pounds input there, Luke.
I told her to sit down and take a break. Already rang someone to pick her up, too.
Oh, yeah, right. Rose called, Ash.
That might be for the best, dear. But please, we're here to talk about the mansion, yes? Why, I absolutely adore it! Don't you, Luke? Some of the rooms will certainly have to be repurposed. We want to change the appliances and have Marianne lead on the decor, but the whole thing is just lovely.
I guess. It's certainly a lot roomier than our penthouse.
Exactly! Lots of space for guests, parties, a lot of room for little ones to run around too.
Oh, is she already thinking of having kids?
Let's not discuss that right now, Buttercup.
Yeah, she wants kids.
Anyway, I do think it would be a shame to let this mansion slip past us.
But you haven't even finished touring the house.
Well, we like what we've seen.
I am making her job easier for her, am I not? A little bit. No need for loans or long price negotiations. We can just sign a contract and close the deal, if only it were that easy. Really, you'd think the women will be more happy about an easy sale. I know how these estate grants agents worked, how long they had to wait, and how much they had to spend even just for a single sale. Why, she should be jumping for joy by now. I'm sure the commission on this mansion is nothing to sneeze at, even if she has to split it with the Isabel girl.
Do you think we could have horses here?
Yeah?
Yes, those do sound nice, love.
Oh. She doesn't want those kind of babies, or those kind of little ones.
Anyway, If anyone else is interested in buying this property, I assure you that I'm able and willing to give a better offer.
Well,
A vineyard would be nice. Or maybe,
yes, you can have all of that. This estate has a lot of room for that. For anything you want. Build that freaking helicopter pad you want.
And we do reward our people quite generously, Rose. So if I were you, I would start on that paperwork.
helicopter pad.
There you go. I pause. And there's a small moment of complete silence where Rose and I just stare incredulously at Luke. It is an unspoken understanding, a rule, between the two of us that we have to put on enact. With our social standing, where image matters, it is also important to avoid making enemies. And to follow this rule is an easy feat for me. From youth, I have been the well-trained social butterfly, gracious and graceful. Luke, on the other hand...
Oh, wait, what, Luke? No, what? Whatever would we need a helipad for?
Do they even own a chopper? Well, he likes to play the fool sometimes, even if he is anything but. As he throws me a wry smile, I shake my head and beckon Rose over. This is to be our home, and there is nothing she or anyone else can do to change my mind. This is a place that speaks of power and importance, and, at the same time, of safety and comfort. Perhaps we can even have our family here. There is definitely no better gift than this for our special date. Why, everything here is absolutely wonderful. Well, except for this ugly painting in the study. What the hell is that doing there? Oh god, is it because of the letter? It looks like a bad fake of an Edvard Munch painting.
Here's the deal.
Ew.
I'm willing to pay 10% higher than your listing price.
Wow.
If anyone tries to outbid us, just add another 5%.
Wow.
I doubt anyone can, of course. Or, you know what? Just add 15% to the listing price, and we can sign all the paperwork now.
Jesus.
I guess, if that's what you want. That won't be any trouble. I don't have all the papers now. Didn't think this would be a quick sell. I'll have copies sent to you so you can look over them. And if you'd still like to finish the rest of the tour with Isabella's group, you're more than welcome to.
No, I think we're good here. We'd appreciate a private tour of the place a lot more, I think.
All right. Should I let Marianne in, then?
Marianne? Oh, don't tell me she forgot about her already. Oh, right. She's been waiting outside the study this whole time, hasn't she? I'll need to have a little chat with her to move this little mansion project forward.
Please do.
There is a look of apprehension when the other woman enters the study. Yet, like a professional, I see the moment when she steels herself and masks her worry. Admirable.
We have this project then?
Of course. Will you be needing anything from us?
Having the floor plans would be a great start, just so that I can look at them beforehand. And if you could tell me when you're available for a meeting so that I can include it in my calendar?
Quite honestly, I think Marianne's accent sounds a little Welsh. But maybe I'm just jumping the gun there, but it doesn't really matter about her accent.
Oh, is a meeting really all that necessary, Marianne? I guess we can send Johans to help you out. You two can start by getting rid of this ugly painting.
Yeah, please do. A hush falls upon the room at my request. Unless only she is seeing it.
What painting?
Yep, thought so. And lo and behold, the painting is gone. In its place, a mirror stands, which leaves me to look at my own confused expression.
Odd. Well, no matter.
Uh-oh.
Back to the topic at hand. Marianne, dear, we are simply far too busy to meet up.
Okay, or perhaps maybe I should... just free up the schedule.
But I guess we can free up a day to meet with you.
Good, got Marianne's relation up.
I don't really need another Maudlin Monday reading about Maury anyway. The book club can function without me for one day.
Yes, good. Screw the books.
What time shall we be seeing each other? How does lunch sound?
Besides, my house has a higher priority over the book club. Why, we can hold the next meeting in this place. Surely the beauty and grandeur of it all will inspire spirited and lively debates about whether modern-day writers could match up to the classics. Or maybe you'll scare everybody off at the mention of the Ermengarde mansion. I might as well clear up the rest of my week to handle whatever affairs buying this mansion requires of me. Any social activity can be put off until the Ermengarde, or whatever, the Wright mansion's great debut. I'll have my fill of great parties and gatherings, especially when I organize them myself.
That sounds good. Although, with a project of this scope, we might need most of the day to tackle your concerns. A more thorough inspection of the place is also preferable.
Yeah, definitely gonna be needed.
Breakfast then! It's a date.
It's really not.
Alright, Monday, 10 o'clock sharp. We'll see you then.
Actually, Marianne suggested that we meet at 9, but who's even awake at that unholy hour? Thank you! Even the rich understand me. I was lucky enough to wake up this morning before Luke went all the way to Cardiff. We say our goodbyes, shake hands, and make it clear, without outright saying it, that we now own this house. By the time we left the mansion grounds, sunset is almost upon us.
So, you really want to buy this place then? That's a bit of a big impulse buy, even coming from you. Not that I'm complaining.
I feel elation when I hear those words from him. It's not every day one is able to please someone like Luke. He gives away false flattery to sway those who starve for his attention and approval. But in the privacy of closed doors, he would often express his grievances. He neither censored himself in front of me, nor spared me from his criticism.
You have been saying the penthouse was getting a bit too small for you. Happy anniversary!
Oh. That time of the year already?
Oh, he is not happy. I think he wants to feel young again, and is not feeling it right now. He forgot about it last year too. I understand that he's a busy man, but okay.
Is that why you want to buy it?
Yes. You don't like it?
I do. But I remember you used to talk about how you wanted to live next to the beach.
Botany Bay, Kent. I remember the sea, water that stretched on for miles and miles as far as the eyes can see. As a kid, I loved our beach trips, swimming all day as much as I could. I was a well-behaved child, and the only time I was ever truly difficult was when I refused to get out of the waters, even when my fingers had gone all wrinkly. And even when they managed to pull me out of the water, there was always sandcastles. The day before we married, I told Luke that I wanted a house on a beach, and a dog, and a kid or two. None of those came true, 7 years later.
That was a childish dream. Living next to the beach is so impractical if you really think about it.
Just say tsunamis.
I don't know. It's not a bad thought to see you in a bathing suit every day.
Oh. Good job, Luke.
Maybe another time, love. We still have forever, don't we?
He says nothing, only grabbing my hand and holding it tight, as we spend the rest of the ride home in silence. I miss the sea. Sick and hovering over the loo at 3 in the morning, the picture I paint right now is hardly glamorous. A horribly fishy taste is left in my mouth as I throw up what I had for dinner, and I hate that acrid stench that fills the lavatory. The burning sensation at the back of my throat is no help whatsoever. I can feel another wave of nausea coming up on me when the door opens.
Hanna, what are you doing so early out of bed?
I'm fine, love. I must have just eaten something bad.
That's all I managed to say before vomiting again into the porcelain throne. Lovely.
Just go back to bed, Luke. I'm going to clean up here.
I refuse to look at him. I don't want him to see me like this. Last time I've had a horrible morning retching into a toilet was during my college years, being the life of the party. Thoughtless and shameless, I had thrown away months of frivolous merriment and pointless hookups. I didn't even retain any of the connections I had made from that time. That happens with parties. Sure, they still know of me, and I still know of them, and we still do business from time to time. but I've lost touch with anyone who I didn't see on a daily basis. That's life. I've lost touch with a whole lot of people that I wish I still had connections with. I hardly have any of the friends I had when I was still Hannah Evans. Teachers, fellow university students, drinking buddies, and old conquests like Jack.
No, don't touch me, sweetie. It's disgusting.
Well, at least he's comforting you.
I'm disgusting.
Luke sits down next to me, on the toilet floor, to hold my hair even as I cough up more fish. He wipes the vomit of the corner of my mouth and just stares.
Do I need to fire someone? I don't feel sick.
Just feeling a bit under the weather, dear. It's been unbearably hot as of late, hasn't it? I do wish it would rain.
Are you sure it wasn't those sweets? I told you not to eat those sweets.
Maybe. Well, don't laugh.
Well, I can't help if you make that sort of face.
He starts chuckling, and soon enough he's in a fit of laughter. This scene is happening next to a loo filled with sick just makes the whole thing bizarre, and it nearly makes me start giggling as well. I try to stifle it though as I smack him on the shoulder.
I'm not making a face, Luke. Stop laughing. Shut up.
When he would not stop laughing, I let myself go as laughter bubbles from my own throat, and I forgot whatever ill feelings plagued me. Good job, Luke. You helped her. We are just husband and wife, laughing together at a funny place, the little things in life. I let myself go because I know that these moments will not last forever. But if I just know the terrible things that are to come for us, I would have wished with everything I have then and there that the laughter stayed. Okay.
Up, higher. Come on now.
Wait. Is this already at the mansion? Has Monday already passed? October 21st. Okay, that's the events of the mansion. I guess I didn't read something new. Yeah, the happy anniversary part. And what day was it? The 26th? Wednesday, yeah. Okay, so yeah, this is already well past the tour. The place is bustling with movers, carrying furnishings here and there, along with several trunks of personal belongings taken from our penthouse. Luke watches them like a hawk, making sure nothing is handled carelessly or gets stolen.
Careful now. I know your pictures are framed by cheap plastic, but those are framed by African blackwood and are one-of-a-kind commissioned paintings.
Well, way to put down the middle class.
Each one is easily worth a lifetime of what you lot make.
Luke, do the dishwashers go into the kitchen or the butler's pantry?
Pantry, Buttercup. Careful, that's Emma
And it's broken.
No, you there, put that down. You do not manhandle a Napoleon Abueva.
Jesus. What the hell was that man doing? I can see the exasperation, and I have to send the foreman an apologetic glance. Even Johannes rolls his eyes as he goes by. Considering Luke is always like this during a project, Johannes and I have gotten used to it. Poor Marianne, on the other hand, looks a bit stressed at seeing the gigantic mess before quickly going back to work. Everything just has to be perfect, exactly the way he wants it. One little thing out of place, one little thing that didn't fit the image he clearly constructed in his head, and Luke gets bent out of shape.
Sweetie, why don't we go and sort your suits upstairs? Let Johannes and Marianne and the foreman deal with the rest of the work.
We have this, Mrs. Wright.
Yes, please do go before a blood vessel bursts. Bloodstains are so troublesome to clean.
Taking him by the hand, I lead him upstairs into our bedroom. That's a nice looking room. Reminds me a lot of the one in Max's dream in Max's Big Bust. This place has been arranged first so that we can get some rest, no matter what the state of the rest of the mansion is in. I am definitely glad I can just lie down on a soft, comfy bed after what has been a busy morning. Watching Luke act like his life depended on getting his move on done is tiring all on its own. And to think I have a whole day of this ahead of me. I feel the bed dip beside me as Luke sits down with a sigh.
Well, I can't wait for this to be over.
I don't know. It's fun seeing you all fired up. Here at home and not at work, you know.
You know I can't always be home, Hanna. I have a company to run, unless you've forgotten.
I haven't forgotten. You're the one who insists on being there to make sure each and every little thing is under control. I just really miss you sometimes, and I wish you were at home more often.
Oh.
Why, if you're not careful, I might go a bit loopy and I'll stop bringing cats home. And soon enough, one day you'll find yourself going home to a farm just filled with felines that follow you everywhere.
Oh, don't bluff. The things would shred up your precious furniture.
He's got a point.
Besides, you don't even like cats.
True, true. Dogs are infinitely superior, of course.
Oh. Come on, girl. At least you had a thought for cats.
But what about the wet dog smell? The mess? I'm not cleaning up after a mutt, no matter how cute.
Well said. That's why I don't want dogs.
If you think about it, a cat would be better.
Haha, he's a cat person. It's not always that we can just lie down and talk about these sort of things. To joke around as if we were teenagers again. With very little problem in the way of responsibilities and roles. To hear his genuine, honest-to-goodness laughter is a rarity. This is just the second time as of late. And I can only see it as signs of good things to come. Good.
All good points. I guess we could just have kids. That is, if you prefer dealing with soiled nappies and sick as opposed to dead birds, mice, and litter boxes. I've already told Marianne about turning the second bedroom into a children's room.
I hope you're not jumping the gun there. Yep, she jumped the gun. I guess sometimes I don't know when I'm crossing a line. But come on, dude. Luke, it's been 7 years. You're already well established. You got a company. You got money. What are you waiting for? Until you're old and you can't and you're infertile? I didn't say that I'm a good comedian, did I?
Not this again.
Clearly he does not want kids.
What? I wasn't being serious.
It's not something you take the piss out of. Having a kid is a big responsibility, Hanna.
Well, Luke is not even going to be home that often. It's going to be on Hanna.
We've talked about this, haven't we? I'm not ready to be a parent. I'd probably end up killing the little brat by the week's end.
That's why you have butlers and maids, so they can help you with that kind of thing. You're rich, for crying out loud. You have the power to do that. Us common people don't. Ah, great. He'll be a great father. We'll probably just turn him down. He's already set on he's not going to be a good father. He already has that mindset, so I think the best thing to do is apologize for bringing it up. I mean, she did kind of say it in a joking manner, but she was being serious. We'll see how that goes. Fuck, I think that went down even more. I feel guilty, uneasy even, about bringing this topic up. This isn't the first time I brought it out there, considering we've been married for 7 years. That is a goddamn long time, though. Most people start having kids like at the 2nd year. It's rare to even go past 10, so you guys are almost there. But I should have learned my lesson. Talking about it has always gotten me disapproval. After all, this is one of the surefire ways to get Luke into a terrible mood.
I'm sorry, but I do think you...
Don't finish that sentence, Hanna. Just don't.
Well, that's what I think would have happened if I chose the good father route, or option.
We know how this discussion ends. Let's not fight over what-ifs and if-onlys.
But what if we are going to have a family, Luke? What then?
I just told you. No what-ifs.
We won't talk about it until you're ready.
Let's not talk about it then. Ever.
Damn. Now that's a strong statement. The silence that follows is stifling. I avert my gaze from him, favoring the view of our four-poster bed, overseeing his embittered expression. Just thinking of how insensitive I am for bringing it up makes me feel sick to my stomach. We stay still. Neither of us dare make the first move to leave. Until a crash from downstairs cuts through the tension. Good job. Who's getting fired?
Oh, bloody hell, what is it now? I can't get away for 10 minutes without someone mucking something up. That better not be what I think it is. I know it's only an 8 million yen vase, but I swear, I'll...
Oh, hey, oh, he bought that in Japan, huh? I don't stop him as he storms off, and he doesn't even bother to look my way. Yet, I can still feel his eyes boring onto me. Alone, as per usual. Okay, so October 26th got something new. Okay, so it's just that. I really should be used to it by now. I can feel the minutes tick by with me, just lying there, feeling miserable and full of self-pity. I've rolled over to lie on my stomach at this point, with my face buried into the pillows when there's a knock at the door. Grumbling at them to go away doesn't work as a voice comes from the other side.
Madam, the photographer from Luxury Living is here.
Wait, is that today? Oh yes. People had caught wind of our new mansion, the very moment we left the open house. Luke had boasted he could acquire the property in no time, and allowed a photo shoot for an interior design magazine to be scheduled today. Well, there were complications, and it took longer than it usually does for us.
In a minute, Hansi.
Your Highness, if you could at least make it through the end.
Tell them I'll be right down, Hansi.
The mansion grounds has been one of the first things to be fixed up, aside from the bedroom. Although it's still a work in progress, it had a promising start, and I can already see the flower patches. Luke's favored daffodils stands out easily, having been transplanted from the pots I used to litter the rooftop of our penthouse. Why, if the moving crew thought that Luke was being hard on them, they clearly didn't see the landscaper on his way out. The man looked like he was ready to faint, and Luke seemed ready to kill him by the end of their discussion. Oh! Oh, so that's how they know each other then! It is in the gardens that I see him standing near the flowers in quiet admiration. He is hard to miss, the hulk of a man that clearly did not belong, and the big backpack and suitcase has with him makes him look much larger. It is a peculiar sight, seeing someone who looks like he does, handling little delicate things with such care. He looks up from the gardens and does a double take before a friendly face replaces his serene expression.
Miss Wright, yeah? Hi, Zachary Steele here from Luxury Living, ma'am. Hope you weren't waiting too long. But it looks like you're still moving in, huh? Thought for a second there my calendar was wrong and I came here too early.
The one and only. Welcome, welcome to Maison de Wright. And yes, we've been in the process of moving in as we were delayed, but it won't be a problem. They're just adding a few things here and there, and you should still be able to do your work. Where's the rest of your crew then, Mr. Steele?
Oh, he is the crew. Well, it's him and his camera.
Zach is fine, please. Mr. Steele makes me feel like I'm a mascot for a cleaning product. Anyway, I'll be your one-man crew for today. Don't worry, been doing this gig for a while now.
You must be quite the veteran to handle this on your own. We've had a full crew coming into our penthouse the last time we were covered in your magazine.
Oh. Ah. Okay, so her penthouse was in that magazine that Zach... whatever.
Veteran? Oh, your words are too kind, Miss Wright.
Hanna! If I get to call you Zach, you have my permission to call me Hanna.
Alrighty then. Anyway, I'm no veteran, but I know my camera well enough to make sure this is a good shoot. You can trust me on that, Miss Wright. Hanna.
Zachary proves quickly enough that I can, in fact, trust him. His skills with the camera and experience in the industry, at the very least. He is kind and courteous, listening and following as I lead him around the house. A really nice fellow, and he treats our household staff well, whenever we cross paths with him. I answer his questions to the best of my ability, and he is patient enough to answer mine whenever I get curious enough. For one, I ask what the bags are for. They are quite the magician's toolkit. From inside, he had procured several items to embellish the interior with. Bowls of fruit. Ah, props, eh? Lemons, trays with paper mills, stacks of cookbooks, cutting boards, and glass canisters filled with colorful nuts and grains are brought in for a kitchen setting. For the bathroom, there are white towels, seashells, and decorative soaps. There are other things as well, Too numerous to count, all in that large backpack and suitcase.
Tricks of the trade. Softens up a room, makes a place feel more homey, and fills it up with texture.
Nice.
But you guys probably have better stuff I can use for this.
No lights? Don't tell me all of these are just props.
Well, I've got my tripod here. For things like these, natural light is best. I'll just have to set the shutter speed to a real slow setting, and as long as nobody steps into the shot, it'll look great.
Oh, it better.
We go through the rooms one at a time, although we first tackle the ones that the movers have no business in anymore. Holy wow, that is a big ass hall. The ballroom needs little preparations with its grand design. Although there is some trouble at first, with the wide open space and the pictures being backlit. It is in the kitchen that Zachary's props come in handy. Oh yeah, they sure do. Considering how Johanna has kept the place so neat and sterile, one can practically eat off the floor. Oh, good job. We carry on touring the house, and taking pictures where we can, the exception to the rooms which have yet to gain any purpose or design. Too bad I can't take a sneak peek at his photos yet. Funnily enough, he is using a traditional camera. I didn't even know film still existed. With the way he speaks, however, I can see that he knows enough about his craft that I'm not too worried about botched photographs. I imagine photography must be cathartic for him, judging by how at ease he looks while taking pictures. There are small snippets of conversation in between the clicking of the camera. He even goes far as to talk about the terminologies like shutter speeds and aperture when I ask about the technical aspects. I can't quite see the picture as it is made, much like when I watch artists paint on their canvas. But just watching someone passionately practicing their craft, such as this, is exciting in its own way. Going through the many rooms has been quite the exercise for the both of us. Despite that, he has been so nice, and I find myself putting on my best smile. But it is as we're taking pictures in the foyer that everything comes to a standstill for a moment. Just a moment. And I have not been paying attention. I wouldn't have even noticed. It is merely a split second when Zachary's rhythm is put to a halt. Ew! His finger doesn't move to release the shutter. So he's just constantly taking pictures there, or is it like continuous focus that he's doing? Yet he also doesn't pull the camera away from his face, gaze still firmly fixed through the viewfinder. His hands shake and there is a light sheen of sweat on his forehead.
Zachary?
No response.
Zach? Is something the matter?
Yeah, something's the matter. Hopefully it's caught on camera. Lowering his camera, he blinks and stares at something behind me before shaking his head. Turning around though, I see nothing that could have gotten his attention.
Oh no, there's nothing wrong. I just remembered something I saw. Let's get back to the pictures. Can you move a bit more to the left, yeah?
I struggle to respond this time. There's a sudden weight on my back and an indescribable tightness around my throat. Everything stops. And everything starts again as I manage to choke out.
If you're sure.
I don't know what just happened. It was probably just a dizzy spell. I'm fine. And he says he's fine. We continue at the same pace as before, although there is an unspoken agreement that we will not talk about what happened.
So, is this a full-time job for you then?
Nah, I just freelance mostly, for magazines, newspapers, and events. So you can't really call it a full-time job. It's fun and it puts food on the table, but it's not what I really want to do. At least, not all the time.
What is it that you want to do then?
Maybe I've been out of line, sticking my nose into other people's business, but I can't help but ask. I regret doing so as I see his shoulders slump, and the easygoing air he has fades away. He looks torn over whether he wants to talk about it or not.
Films. Documentaries, mostly.
Ah, so that's why he... Well, yeah, of course, that's why he made his documentary.
But cinematography is a lot more difficult than photography, right? I was working on this thing, actually.
What thing?
Well, it wasn't really a big thing. People didn't like Blue Fonzie very much.
People don't like a film about colors. I suppose they would have liked Blue Bibby a lot more.
Words I don't understand.
Very funny.
So, Grand Director, do you want to tell me what Bleu Foncé is all about?
He hesitates. But when I refuse to budge on the matter, he gives in and spills it all out. Bleu Foncé le jours la plus sombre des noirs britanniques. I probably butchered that to shit. Dark blue, the darkest hours of the Black British. He speaks with passion of one who has gone through the very matter he is concerned with. There is conviction, knowledge, and experience in his speech. Why, I would have told him that he is an amazing speaker, if only I wasn't so engrossed listening. Prejudice and discrimination, in schools and in the workplace. Lesser chances for opportunity and higher chances for being treated like a criminal. He spoke of blacks and people of color in general, still being treated like second-class citizens, all because of the color of their skin. It is all just positively riveting. And sad. It comes to a point wherein he soon loses steam. He looks abashed, realizing what he had just done.
Sorry, I just got so carried away and...
It's fine. It is really so fascinating to watch people talk about their passion after all. You should see how your eyes light up when you speak so fiercely. You do have very beautiful eyes.
Hannah, you're getting a little too, what's the word I'm looking for? Complimentive? I mean, it's good to compliment, but maybe that's a little far.
Uh-huh. Thanks, I guess.
Yeah, it's a kind of awkward compliment if they're not really expecting it. I want to say that I understand where he's coming from, but I really don't, do I? I was born with a silver spoon in my mouth, and I've lived a charmed life. Hasn't been perfect, but the difficulties I've been through pales in comparison to what others experience on a daily basis. I certainly don't know how I would have fared if it were any different. Would I still have met Luke, and would he still have loved me, if it was any lesser?
What was your home like? These things you talk about, it sounds like you've... Well, I don't mean to pry, I mean.
Live with my older sister and my grandparents. We had a shop selling all sorts of things below our flat. And well, I was one of the few non-white, non-British students in class. I didn't get pushed around or anything straight up. Even then, I was one of the biggest kids around, but a pencil and notebook would go missing, you know?
Oh, that I knew. Children can be so cruel at times. Of course, it may be a slightly different story when you have personal guards and the stolen item is not a pencil but an expensive heirloom.
So what about you? How you liking your new house? It's pretty impressive.
It's nice, I suppose.
Aw, what's with that?
You suppose? Not big enough?
What? No, oh, don't be a bully. It's just that...
I understand if you don't want to talk about it.
I was a little girl, all dolled up and treated like fragile porcelain, with nursemaids waiting to me at hand and foot. All the material possessions anyone could ever want, I could ask for on a whim, and it would be handed to me just like that. But I barely saw my parents, just goodbye kisses in the morning before they went off to who knows where they were needed next. I saw them more often on the telly, or in the newspapers than I ever did in person.
I remember my old house. It was a lot like this one. Big walls and big halls, but nobody in it. Not really.
So she just feels lonely then.
It makes you think how alone you are.
A pensive mood overcomes us. And there's a moment where neither of us are sure of how to go on from there. Things have gotten a bit too personal. Yeah, just a little. Yet it isn't wholly uncomfortable. Like, as if we've been friends before. Oh, okay.
Well, that's normal, ain't it? You just moved here. You'll make home out of it yet.
He certainly makes it easy to believe that. My childhood house is indeed a lot like this one. Just as large and extravagant. And just as empty. I hope he's right.
So, Monsieur le Photographe, you've covered the one and only Ermengarde mansion. What's next on the agenda?
The interview?
Boring. It's an interior design and housing magazine.
and they want to know what Miss Wright has to say about her interior design and house.
Hanna Wright thinks she bought a magnificent house that she can certainly brag about. Blah, blah. Boring. You know what they should print more of? I watched an interesting documentary the other day. Bleu Foncé, the darkest hours of the Black British. I recommend you watch it.
Well, I mean, that would be one hell of an advertising just from her saying it.
Those are the things that people should know about. What do they care if I use a purple or green bowl of fruit in my kitchen?
People, right?
Oui. People are shite.
Agreed. Agreeable. It's agreeable.
What do you think? Do I look good with this angle?
I strike a pose while he's being busy, looking... Wait, while he's being busy, looking taken aback for a moment. Probably not expecting me to just go and say such a crass word. But he recovers quickly, and after snapping a few shots, he grins.
Yeah, vous êtes belle.
I mean, I know Belle is very close to, Bella in Spanish, so I'm guessing that says you are beautiful.
You want copies of these ones?
Yes, please. So, the big boy knows French. You must have wooed a few ladies. Unless you're into gents.
Oh.
Either way, French is, after all, the language of romance.
Yeah, it sure is. French, Spanish, and I think Italian? Haven't actually heard Italian used for very long.
No, I don't know about quoting fancy poetry, but I've made lunch for a girl before, and they did like that fancy French cuisine.
Good job.
Can you cook your best?
I can cook just about anything as long as I know the recipe.
Nice.
C'est magnifique.
It has been too long since I've had a nice and proper chat with a good friend. No, Lee is certainly not a good friend. And and although we've just met, Zachary is the sort who can probably befriend anyone. Yeah, he is a very nice guy. He's just a comfortable person to be around with. A bit too comfortable. The photo shoot went by breeze. Oh, okay, it's the afternoon. I guess the lighting on this screen makes it look like morning. And somewhere along the way, as we talk and laugh, I find myself getting a bit too close without realizing. He'll give me a strange look until I back off, and he'll go back to asking questions after I agree to his little interview. And it's just odd. Well, no. Me being friendly isn't that odd. That is how I am. Zachary is the one that's being odd. Yeah, he did not like what he saw through the shutter. Why, anyone else would absolutely welcome the extra attention I give them. He, on the other hand, looks almost flustered about it. He should be used to different personalities by now, having to deal with various people when he works. And if not, he needs to start. Perhaps nobody has shown him attention of this kind, but he's a big boy. He should be able to handle me. Please keep it to a professional level with that last statement. All it is a friendly touch here, a pretty smile there, and gentle swaying of the hips as I move around. Yeah, no, I think that's too much. Zachary grew and grew more red every time he noticed. Am I being mean as I find enjoyment in seeing him unravel? Perhaps. This went on during the interview and beyond that. There's nothing wrong with what we're doing, right? Not yet, but it's getting there. Zachary and I are just having a playful, friendly chat while enjoying the outside view. At least that's how I see it.
I'm sorry, but I'm really getting distracted. Could you maybe stop doing that?
Stop? I'm not sure if I want to, though. No, you will stop. You will stop. I'm forcing you to stop right now. So stop.
I'll stop if it makes you uncomfortable, sweetie.
Okay, that got his relationship up.
Sorry.
No, I should be the one apologizing. Why, you're a shy one, aren't you, big guy?
It's not that, but...
He gestures to the ring on my finger and lets the fact of the matter hang heavily between us. Yeah. Good job pointing that out. Being told implicitly that I am too forward is not a common occurrence. I think I'm more stunned at the fact that he pointed it out rather than, well, being rejected. Not that anything is going to happen between us in the first place, at least she had that set. It was just going to be some harmless flirting, right? No, all flirting is not harmless if you're in a relationship or married.
So, you've never had a girlfriend?
What?
No. No boyfriend either. You know, just in case you were gonna ask for that one next.
And you haven't even had your first kiss?
Hannah, where are you going with that?
Not a one, ma'am.
Do you want to have your first kiss today?
Hannah? I can't help it. She's teasing. I really can't, and I'm going to apologize lots later. Surely by the catty smile on my face, it is obvious that I'm just pulling his leg. The laugh I failed to contain certainly gives it away, if it still isn't obvious. But still, he lights up in embarrassment, stammering and sputtering objections.
You're married, and this will be extremely unprofessional.
Yes.
I never said I would kiss you, silly.
Still a bit unprofessional, you know.
Oh, Johans!
Oh, jeez.
No, what? No. Don't call your butler. She's Hanna.
That would be for the better. I don't think his husband would appreciate it if I made him kiss another man.
Oh, shit.
I do not think you can hear us from here either. But it is hard to think you're not taken, Zachary. Why, whoever becomes your girlfriend will be so lucky to have you. You can cook and take wonderful photographs. Wonderful meals and wonderful memories.
I can play guitar too.
Ah, nice.
You can? Oh my. Wonderful serenades as well then. Perhaps I can find a young lady who deserves a fine, strapping young gentleman like yourself.
You know, that wouldn't be bad for Zach, if he's willing to settle down.
Let's not get carried away. Besides, I gotta be going. It's getting late and I got someplace else to be.
A shame. I will be expecting you again soon, I hope. For a copy of my photographs, yes?
Of course. I'll even deliver them personally.
Alright, cool. At least he said that. Normally I would have expected something like, I'll be sending them through the mail. So, good on you, Zach.
Just, you know, don't try to make me kiss your butler when I drop by.
Good job, Zach. As fate would happen, the very moment the words leave his mouth, Johannes comes out of the house. Judging by the slight raise of his brows, he has heard only the tail end of the sentence.
There shall be no kissing of any butlers under this roof, Danke.
But you are not under a roof, are you, Hansi?
To my amusement, he takes a step back, safely placing him within the threshold of the foyer and under the roof of the house. And just as ever, he is quick to return with a sardonic reply.
I am now. As I was saying, madam, it's about time for supper. Will I be needing to set an extra place at the table?
Nah, he's about to leave.
Oh, what? No, I was just leaving, actually. So, you have a good night, Hanna. And you too, Hansi.
It was nice to meet you, Zach, honey. You have a safe trip.
He nods and the grin on his face. As we say our goodbyes is the sweetest that I've ever seen. I linger looking out for him with his relatively tiny bicycle, backpack safely secured in the basket by the front and suitcase hooked to the back. I watch as he went down the path to Anslem village, until he is nothing more than a blip in the horizon. I cannot help the small smile on my face as I go inside for supper. Should I end here? No, I'll continue a bit longer. I am hungry though. Entering the dining hall causes me so much confusion. It is dark. For a moment I thought the electric work is not up to par. But that clearly is not the case, as every other room is bright with artificial light. Finding the light switch is a monumental task, considering the size and my unfamiliarity with the room. And that's how I still kind of am with specifically one light switch here at my brother's house. That I always have, no, 2 light switches. I always have trouble finding them. Like when I reach out for them, I cannot actually get them on the first reach. To make matters worse, the darkness grants a room a different atmosphere, eerie and frightening. It's probably because the light switches aren't centered in the wall, like between between like the door frame and the wall. It's not centered, so I'm reaching too far. It takes longer than I thought to find the switch, something that will have to be rectified later on. My skin starts to prickle, and there is the distinct feeling of being watched. It unsettles me, and only spurs me on in my search. And when I do open the lights, there is a hiss.
I'll turn the lights down, woman!
Oh god, he's been drinking, hasn't he? There, at the end of the hall, is my beloved husband with his face in one hand, and a glass in the other. Perhaps I can let it go if it's only one glass of wine. However, I can feel myself go livid, after seeing the toxic green liquid gleam mockingly at me.
Luke, what? Are you drinking absinthe?
Absinthe? I'm not one to know alcohol, so I don't know if that's strong or something.
You know what the doctor said. Absinthe, Luke.
Ah, I guess the one thing he's supposed to avoid?
Are you actively trying to kill yourself? Because if you are, we can just hit you with a bloody car!
Honeybee, Buttercup, not too loud, please. Besides, it's Lelouch, not too strong. Just hair of the dog that bit me.
What?
Helps with the hangover, dearest.
You drank? When?
This morning, love. Don't be mad. I just needed a few drinks, having to deal with those simpletons. And maybe I had one too much. You don't see me whinging about you leaving me to handle them on my own.
Well, she had her own business to attend.
I had to attend the photo shoot and interview with Luxury Living. You know that. Let's not make this about me, Luke. This is about you and your drinking problem and...
Oh, I don't know, Hanna, darling.
Oh boy.
What if my drinking problem, as you like to call it, is linked to you?
Oh no, 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 no. You fucked up, Luke. You done goofed.
If we think about it that way, this discussion is about you. That was pretty mean of you, leaving me alone to do all the work like that. You can't use the interview as an excuse either, honey. I was informed the moment your little interview was done. So, what was it then, What were you doing?
What's it gonna be? Should I tell the truth or tell a little lie, you know? I'm gonna get rid of this little new icon that's here. Okay, so that's just meeting Zach and going through the whole photo shoot and interview stuff. He was... It was just casual talk.
I was talking with Zachary, the photographer for Luxury Living.
Okay, let's check the relationship. It went down even more. Well, am I fucking this up for her? Unless that's how her story is supposed to go. Which I hope not, actually. I have no reason to tell lies. It's not like I'm guilty of anything. Yeah. But as Luke's expression turns, it makes me feel like I actually am to blame for something. He has a way of making me laid bare with just a look. That had really struck me when we first met years ago.
That giant Negro?
Oi! Asshole.
You were having a secret meeting behind my back and it was with him?
Was not a secret meeting, you... Okay, you know what? Hanna, just go off to bed.
What are you implying?
I'm implying nothing.
Uh-huh, sure. That's not what it seems like.
I'm just worried. You know better than to trust those media types, Buttercup. He must have been really friendly to occupy your time like that. But all he's looking for is his next big headline.
The hell do you even mean by that?
He's a photographer for an interior design magazine.
Does he think he's like paparazzi or something? TMZ?
Doesn't matter. You let one little thing slip, one wrong move, and it'll blow up in the telly in the morning. He'll go to his journalist friends to gossip and make a quick quid.
His eyes were the first thing I noticed about him. They were like nature, the grass and the trees, wonderful and breathtaking. Now as I look at him, they're nothing but the same shade of green as the bloody damn drink in his hand.
He was a perfect gentleman, Luke.
You shouldn't have said perfect.
I can't say the same for you as of recent.
And you shouldn't have probably said that, because now things are going to escalate even further, and we won't hear the end of it.
Excuse me again? We're talking about you, Hanna.
No, I am pretty sure we were talking about you and your drinking problem, Luke Wright.
Oh. Hangover forgotten during the course of this little spat, the man jumps to his feet and seethes. It looks like he is barely stopping himself from throwing the nearest thing he can find. I better not.
Oh, it is not a problem. I can stop whenever I want.
Prove it!
And even if it was, I think you can very well stay out of it, as it only affects my own kidneys or liver or whatever the bloody hell that shite pollutes. Whatever aftermath that occurs because of your little chit-chat with the Negro affects the both of us, however.
Look, Luke. Nothing will happen. You have to relax. It was just a friendly chat.
Well, now I think I'm getting jealous.
Well, lottie fucking da. Go shit in your expensive toilet and crap out some 20-pound Duke or something.
Or I would be if it weren't for this damn headache.
Maybe you should drink more.
Maybe.
Supper is spent in silence, with nothing but the occasional sound of a silverware. A grand feast has been served. Well, grander than usual anyway. Most likely due to Luke's complaints of stress. Oh, well. A platter of native oysters for starters, and tranche of turbo with purple sprouting broccoli. What? I've never seen broccoli of that color before. Lemon, capers, and hiccups. Oh god, I'm getting hungry. An anchovy sauce for mains. To finish it off, black tea and golden syrup sponge pudding with custard. Ooh, that actually sounds very nice right now. But when our appetites are appeased and the plates are cleared away, Luke stands, kisses me goodnight, and leaves me to stare at my half-empty cup. At least he doesn't leave right away. Lonely in the lull of night, I sit, in a house too big and too empty, foreign and unwelcoming. Does the butler not live there? Wait, do butlers live in the house they serve? That's something I don't know. Even with its warm tone and homely decor, it feels cold. There's no need for tears, however. I know I can get through this like every other obstacle I have faced before. This is a minor setback in what I hope will be a long and happy life. Well, the way Luke is going, I highly doubt that. To remind myself that this place is for Luke and for our future children fills me with a renewed vigor. Except, as I said, Luke is not good for children. Oh god. Please no. Besides, it looks like someone is having a cry already. Yeah, no, I'm already getting chills. The wailing is far away and muffled. Could it be from the attic? Yet at the same time it shakes me to my very core as I hear it. As if the suffering is just standing right beside me. Oh god, no! Hearing it sends a chill down my spine and makes my skin prickle with goosebumps. Hold on, I gotta fix my jacket because I am starting to get cold. Who is that? Oh god, no. What's new in the journal? The drinking part. Okay, well, pause if you want to read it. Curiosity sinks in as I follow the sorrowful sound into the kitchen. Oh god. And into the wine cellar hatch.
Hello? Is anybody down there?
Fucking call somebody to go with you. I am curious and concerned, but there is no way I'm going down into the dark and humid underground. I'm not as enthusiastic as Luke, who considers himself quite the connoisseur. However, I almost cannot bring myself to go to bed with this racket going on. If it is one of the household help, they will surely need some talking. After all, this wouldn't be the first time I've gone and found one of the maids sobbing their eyes out over one thing or another. Really? I guess a little affair with the butler and then things just did not work? Assuming they have multiple maids and butlers. As professional as our staff here, they are still human. More often than not, it was either Johannes or I who'd calm them down, who'd help them figure out how to go on about things. Unfortunately, I'm not in high spirits right now, so I'm not as wholly benevolent. So I will. You know what? Hold on a second. Just in case I need to quickly reload the game. We ain't opening that shit. Fuck that shit, I'm out. I knock 3 times. Waiting for any sort of reply yields me no results. And I've already touched the floor hatch far too many times than what I'd like. I take a deep breath before reaching out again to whoever's inside. Don't open it, don't open it. I've learned from experience that people respond better to kindness than threats. Shouting angrily would not help in coaxing them out. No, definitely would not.
You, in the cellar, do come out. We don't want Luke waking up and finding you in there, do we? That man would go ballistic thinking someone was trying to steal his precious wine.
Still nothing.
You can have a good cry. Just not in there, yes? Why don't you come out here and we can have a cuppa and you can tell me all about whatever it is you're bawling about?
Okay, good, nothing happened. With how long I'm standing here, however, I'm starting to think myself as a fool. I do not want to acknowledge the other feeling I have, especially as the wailing took an eerie turn. Oh, please no. The thought of being played with didn't sit too well with me, and I had to stop myself from getting too hot-headed as I try one more time.
Now you come out of there! That is an order from the lady of the house, do you hear me?
I mean, the tone doesn't fit the face, but... Okay. Hopefully that doesn't trigger the ghost.
Why, Iota?
Huh? I freeze as a hand clamps down on my shoulder. The dread I've been feeling all this time makes itself known as I kneel, unmoving, not even daring to breathe. Don't tell me that crying was just a distraction and the ghost was behind you all the time. I can feel my heart pounding against my chest. But the touch is gone, as quickly as it had seized me. Oh, thank goodness. It is only Johannes I see when I look back.
Apologies, madam, for touching you like that.
Ah. Damn, Johannes.
You were not responding to my voice, and you looked about ready to wake the whole mansion up.
I was... I'm sorry. I was getting rather loud, wasn't I? But that crying woman in there, we must do something about her.
He doesn't hear her. He grows silent for a moment and just looks concerned. At least, I'd like to interpret it as concern, given how stoic our head butler usually is. Or rather, it must have been concern as he takes off a glove and presses the back of his hand at my forehead before his worrisome inquiry.
I beg your pardon. What crying woman? Are you feeling well, madam?
In the cellar. Can't you hear her?
Madam, Hannah, no one is down there.
What?
The cellar is locked. Only Luke and I have duplicates of the keys. Nobody is down there.
I stare at him in disbelief. But when I listen once more, I hear no crying. Tugging at the hatch for good measure, prove his words to be true, too. The thing won't budge unless I had a key, short of using power tools on it.
Perhaps it is time for you to go to bed, madam. You are simply tired and hearing things, a perfectly normal human experience. But if you are still experiencing auditory hallucinations in the morning, you are free to consult with me.
At least he's being open about it, and not saying you need medical help. There is a cold feeling in the pit of my stomach as he helps me up to my feet. What he says makes sense. And who am I to question someone who used to be a doctor? Oh, okay. Alright, there we go. That's why he didn't say you need medical help. Because he is a medical doctor. Or he was. I'm just tired, that's it. Long day of moving, the interview, and dealing with Luke. That has all drained me of any proper sense.
Yes, I suppose you're right. I just need some sleep, that's all.
I wonder if I try to open the hatch. It definitely would not open because it's locked. But would that just trigger this event quicker?
Of course I'm right. Go on then. Gute Nacht.
Good night, Johannes. Good night, house.
Oh, she is lonely. It's just fatigue. That's what I keep telling myself, although I can't ignore the strange feeling in my gut. Either there is something wrong with this house, or there is something wrong with my head. Sleep will be elusive tonight. And that's where I'm gonna end it. So hopefully you guys enjoyed. I got chills still. Okay, well, I'm hungry, so that's enough. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see you guys next time. Take care. Oh, whoops. Backlog. There we go. Scroll up a little bit. There we go. There. Take care.